Are you tired of feeling run down and exhausted? In our fast-paced world, we're often surrounded by toxins that impact our well-being. I provide holistic solutions designed to detoxify your body and environment. With cutting-edge AO voice scan technology, we identify the root causes of your discomfort or dis-ease, making personalized healing easier than ever. Start your transformative journey towards a healthier, toxin-free life. Because at White Sands Self-Care, your well-being is our priority.
Most people aren't broken. They're just dysregulated. Chronic stress, pain, anxiety, and burnout aren't mindset failures. They're nervous systems stuck in survival. I'm Leland Holgate, combat veteran and neuroscientist, and I created the Welcome Home Method to help people rewire their nervous systems with breath. To go deeper, visit thewillfulwarrior.com.
Well, welcome everyone back to Mindful Mondays on E360 TV, where we bring you conversations designed to educate, inspire, and empower. And I'd like to welcome our guest today, Dr. Scott Fox. Dr. Scott is a registered acupuncturist, and he's a doctor of Chinese herbal medicine and the owner of Sixth Sense Acupuncture, an in-home clinic serving the Brisbane, Sunshine Coast and Golden Coast regions of Australia. So hopefully I pronounced it right. I used to call it Brisbane, but I think they said it was Brisbane. So I apologize if I slaughtered that. But he has a passion for helping people to uncover the root cause of their health challenges. Dr. Scott combines the time-tested wisdom of acupuncture and Chinese herbal medicine with a personalized approach to wellness. His work focuses on helping clients restore balance, reduce pain, manage stress, and achieve their health goals naturally. So today we're going to explore the ancient healing practices, how the ancient healing practices can offer powerful insights into the modern health and discover what our bodies have been trying to tell us when something feels out of balance. So, Dr. Scott, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much, Laura. That was an awesome intro. Got some great sponsors too, so that's pretty cool. So thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for having me on, and hopefully I can give some gold nuggets of information to your audience.
Yeah, I know you will, and it's my pleasure. That's what I love is all the different perceptions and different modalities. There's so many different ways to go at things, and in the end, it's really about helping people to heal and live their best life. So, but I'd like to start with your journey, if that's okay, and if you can tell us what inspired you to pursue acupuncture and Chinese herbal medicine. Was there a defining moment that led you down that path?
So I was an unusual child. Mum, if your mum and dad was probably like mine, they told you to go and see the general practitioner. In Australia, that's what we call them. In the States, they call them MDs, medical doctor. And I didn't. Why? Because I did martial arts as a teenager, and we're punching and kicking each other. And anyway, our teacher, he taught us a bit of Korean hand acupuncture. So you might have heard of reflexology. Reflexology is where they use the map of the sole of the foot, sole of the foot as a map of the body. Well, with the Koreans, they use the hand as a map of the body. So, we're kicking each other, hurting each other. I do some points for acupuncture points for pain from the punching and kicking. And if I get the flu or something like that, sinus congestion, or get a cough, do some points and it go away pretty quickly. So I never went to the medical doctor which is unusual, yeah?
It is.
So, but it wasn't recognized, and my parents couldn't afford me to go to more classes, and I only went to one class. But I pick things up very quickly if I do them. So I learn kinesthetically. So, yeah. Then something unfortunate happened. My mother passed away in 1994 from a rare type of cancer, and of course I asked the doctors, the surgeons, questions that they couldn't answer.
Right.
Because their solution for that type of cancer, it was urethra cancer, is to just keep cutting her away, cutting the cancer away. But the problem is they're cutting the cancer plus her away. So,
Right.
so from diagnosis to death was pretty quick. It was 6 weeks.
Wow.
So, as I said, I'd ask how can we prevent this? How can we, is there something else we can do besides cutting her away? And of course, they couldn't answer that, and they just kept pushing me away. And that's when I realized this is not probably the best medicine that they make it out to be. So I then, I realized that I should go on a quest to find the answers for all these chronic diseases, because it's getting worse. I know the numbers in the States are getting worse every year. Same here, same in Australia, no different. The numbers are getting worse for the leading chronic diseases. And when I say chronic disease, I mean cardiovascular disease, cancer, sometimes kidney disease.
Whoop, we lost your audio a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we got you now. Okay.
So they're the top four, so yeah, then in 2003, I found a university locally here in Brisbane, Australia, and they were providing degrees in health sciences acupuncture. So I started the degree. 11 years later, then I graduated. And then I was a sucker for punishment. I went and did a master's degree in Chinese herbal medicine. So for 15 years, I basically studied. Now, in that time, I also was a security officer, security guard. Now, 10 years of that time, I did that for 20 years. So 10 years of that time, I was working in the hospitals. So if you don't know, in a hospital setting, security officers can go anywhere. They can go to theatre if they want. They can, because we're emergency services, we're
Right.
first responders. So I got to ask all the questions. I got to see the surgeries like firsthand, and what I saw was amazing. Like in the hospital system, that's what they're really good at: surgery. They're magic at it. You cut your hand off, you split your head open. They're very good at putting you back together. But what I saw was that anything long term, anything that you've had for a long time, chronic disease, they're terrible at it. They are terrible at it. Because so this is, I'm going to compare. I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent here.
Okay.
So the comparison between conventional medicine and Chinese medicine is this. Conventional medicine was created on a battlefield. That's where they learned more about the human body, and surgery in particular was on a battlefield. World War One, they were dabbling in morphine and they were dabbling in antibiotics, but they didn't really have it down as a science. So, because there was recorded, because what they realized was when you're cutting someone open when they're in a battle environment, they try and fight you.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be cutting someone open while they're trying to fight you. So, and they used alcohol in the old days, but alcohol thins the blood, as you would know, and they normally would bleed out. So they found with morphine that it was easier to keep the patient subdued while you're doing the surgery. But also, they found that it was useless doing the surgery, and then 3 days later, they died from an infection. So then yeah, that's when they created the antibiotics, penicillin, as we know, uh,
Mhm.
to stop the infection afterwards. Now that's what they're really good at. That's what the medicine was created for.
Yeah, and I've heard that before. It was create a way, and it's of course they want to put them back together because they need them to go back into battle, and it's kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
hurry up and put you back together. But yeah, it's amazing kind of how things have evolved, since then. In some cases, have gotten many worse, but then there's other stuff like you and I know that's holistic that has gotten so much better. So it's just depends on
Well,
what you're subjected to.
exactly. So it's a different strategy. So Chinese medicine was created in the emperor's court. So it's a different strategy. The emperor's physician had to look after everyone in the court. He had to make sure that the emperor was fertile because he had to have heirs. If he didn't have heirs, then he had no power. So the more heirs you had, the more power you had. Why? Because if you've got a problem, on the other side of the country, then you send your son, your elder son, and then you've got another problem in another part of the country, you send another son.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, so the more heirs he had, so he had to be fertile, he had to be ferocious because he had to lead his soldiers into battle, and he had to, had to have a clear mind. That's the only problem when you're the emperor. Everyone's either trying to kill you
Right.
or use tactics against you. So you had to be very smart. You had to have full clarity. So the physician had to get that out of him. Now he also had to look after the concubines. Same thing. Concubines had to be fertile. They had, he had to make sure that they were healthy. They had to make sure that the prince or princess was healthy as well. He had to make sure that the soldiers that were protecting the court were healthy. He had to make sure. So you see where I'm going with it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a different strategy. That he's there to prolong their lives and have an abundant life. Okay, so it's more of a long term medicine.
It's
So
more on well being and not band aid fixes.
yeah, well, see, it's all about blood flow.
Right.
So you're as old as your cardiovascular system. If your cardiovascular system is in great shape, you won't have any problems. So that's what he was. That's what the physician was good at. The physician was good at promoting blood around the body, and that's what Chinese medicine does. Now, I think I'll just go back to what your question. So the other thing is my father also he had a fall in 2012, and that's why I say the last 5 years of his life was not very good. He really died in 2012, but he died in 2017. But why I say he died in 2012 was because he couldn't do much after that. So the last 5 years of his life, it was just incapacitated. Yeah, he had good days, but he had a lot of bad days too.
Right.
So what do I mean by that? He'd have a fall, and then he couldn't, can't do anything. So we'd have to get people to come in and help him and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, now the problem with that is that takes all the resources of from all the people around him. And now, why I bring that up is this is what's happening in our society now. So I don't know about the states, but 9 out of 10 Australians end up like my father. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's 90% of the population end up. So the other 1% is like the example of my grandmother. So she lived to 91. I forgot to say, yeah. So my father lived to 80, almost 82. He was almost 82 years of age. I think he was short by about 2 months. So he did live, a reasonable age. He lived
Right.
to a reasonable. But my grandmother lived to 91. This is the way we should die. This is the 10%. She worked every day of her life. She had a thrift shop in the last 20 years of her life. She managed that thrift shop. I was told that it was, you know, very profitable. She helped the community. It was all volunteer. She never got paid for it. Just give me a second. And yeah, she had a heart attack the week before she died.
Well,
And they said to her, "You're gonna have to take a lot of, usual deal.
mm-hmm.
You're gonna take a lot of medication, and it should prolong your life, right?" She said, "No, I'm not doing that." Went straight back to the thrift shop the next day. Said 1 day off.
Yep.
1 day off. Went straight
I
back
know
to the
people like that. Yeah, they're incredible.
went straight back to the thrift shop the next day. Now, a week later, she died in her sleep. She had a heart attack in her sleep, and she died. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one. That's the 10%.
Yeah, I've had
She's
family members that I've had that I've seen that, oh, there's nothing they can do but keep making them comfortable, and they put them on morphine drips, or you feed them this, you feed them that, and it just keeps stringing on and on and on, and they're most of the times they're just so ready to go, but the body hasn't given up yet, and they're still pumping them full of drugs.
yeah. That's not. That's the statistics don't lie. 9 out of 10 of us are going to. That's how we end up. There's the
Yeah.
1% that end up at home dying in their sleep. That's the way it should be. So yeah. Why I brought that up is because this is the way that our system is run now. The system is. It wasn't like in the old days where everyone was dying in their sleep. Now it's the other way around. It's all keeping you comfortable. I love the way that they soften the language.
Yeah, make it sound more palatable, but yeah, and the thing is, I guess that's kind of what we grew to accept. But the thing is, to me, the fact is that you don't have to accept it. Like your grandma, she said, told them no, and we do have the ability to tell them no. It's just, I don't know about in Australia, but I know a lot of Americans, and in the U.S., they're like, oh well, no, this is what the doctor says I have to do. This is what I have to do. It's like they've given up their choice, to decide for how they're going to go.
Yeah, well, I think she thought, well, I'm 91. Like, hello.
Yeah.
By the time I sleep, you know, happy days. So
Right.
um, I think also she passed in early 2000. I think it was 2003. She passed away. So that's when she was obviously seeing that as well.
Mm-hmm.
She would have been seeing her friends because you got to remember she's 91. She's just about everyone's already dead. There's not
Right.
many people. Not many people make it past 80. Um, so all of her friends, her husband had already passed. He passed away 5 years earlier, and don't quote me on that. I don't know. I know it was late 90s. I'm just trying to remember. It was late 90s. So she
Yeah.
was at 2003,
A
and
decent age compared to what some are nowadays, but yeah.
yeah. So my grandfather, so this is my father's father, and the lady I was talking about, my grandmother, that was my father's mother. Now, yeah, so they all both lived to their 90s, but my grandfather was a smoker. So, the last few years of his life wasn't the best either. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So I have a question for you, because you actually said no at an early age, and many people don't discover holistic healing until the traditional approaches have failed them. What experiences have you had, either personally or professionally, that convinced you of the power of acupuncture and Chinese herbal medicine?
Well, it wasn't. As I said, like small things like, pain and stuff like that. I realized early that it's really good for pain. Acupuncture is
Hmm.
fantastic for pain. But then, as I learned, I went to uni, I learned that it was actually beneficial for a lot of things. And then, as I said, when I graduated, then I realized I could also use herbs because it's even better again. So I'll put it to you this way. So in China, acupuncture is like the adjunct. It's like the physiotherapy
Okay.
or chiropractic. It's an adjunct. It's a support method. Okay,
Right.
but Chinese herbal medicine is the surgeon.
Okay.
So they hold herbal medicine in high regard in China. The reason being because um, I'll just go back to the emperor's court. So think of it: the physician is treating the prince or princess, but they're only 1 or 2 years of age. They can't tell you what's wrong.
Right.
So how did they figure it out? They did it through pulse. So what they do is they'd shake the prince or princess's hand, and then they feel the artery here in the wrist. It's called the radial artery near
Mm-hmm.
your thumb. And that artery tells us what's going on internally. It can tell us if you've got kidney stones, gallstones. It tells us if you've got sleep apnea, if you've got asthma, bronchitis, uh, and tell us if you're pregnant. And better still, can tell us if you've got to have a boy or a girl.
Wow.
Pretty cool. Yeah,
And it's accurate because that just seems
yeah,
wild to be able to do that just out of the pulsing of your artery.
yeah. I've had clients. I've been doing pulse diagnosis since 2016, and I've felt tens of thousands of pulses. And uh, I've had so many people. I had one gentleman. He's a veteran, Vietnam veteran, and I said to him, "Mate, you've got a big problem with your heart." I filmed it. I actually filmed it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so you had a big problem with your heart, mate. You're taking medication, obviously, for it. And he said, "Yeah." And because when you say that to someone, they go, "How the hell?"
Yeah. How did you know?
Um, and I said, "Do you want to come, off your medication because I can help you do that?" And he said, "Oh, I'll think about it." Anyway, about because I said to him, there's something bad's going to happen soon, like within the next 12 months. And then it was about 3 weeks later, if I remember correctly, he had a heart attack. Anyway, but he survived. He survived, which is,
Yeah.
by the way, only 30% survived their first heart attack.
That is.
Not many
Yeah.
people know that. 30%.
Yeah.
So if you survive the second one, so when you hear these people that survive 4 or 5,
Mm-hmm.
they're freaks.
Yeah.
They're
That's
freaks. So
pretty
yeah,
incredible.
so what? So anyway, he came back to me and said, "Why didn't you tell me that I was?" I said, "Mate, I did. Here's the video. I'll send it to you." And yeah, and I said to him, "Are you going to do something about it now?" He still didn't do anything about it. I had another lady. I remember she had a fatty liver, and I said, "You've got some cysts on your liver." She said, "I don't. I've had the blood tests. There's nothing wrong with my liver." I said, "Okay, that's cool. Just go and get an ultrasound. Just do me a favor. Go and get an ultrasound of your liver." Sure enough, she had cysts on the liver and she had a fatty liver. So
Wow.
yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
power of pulse is incredible. So that's what I. So when I find out what's wrong, then I can give them herbs. So acupuncture does change the pulse, but herbs, but it's only temporary. It's only temporary. Acupuncture only changes the pulse temporarily. Herbs changes the pulse permanently. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
It
there's a,
does.
there's a standard of care,
Yeah.
and I can figure it out pretty quickly. It only takes me 5 minutes. I can figure it out pretty quickly.
Well, yeah. So
That's
basically, the herbs are going to the root cause and helping to correct
yeah,
things
yeah,
internally. Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, uh, I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, a lot of people are just not in touch with their bodies. They don't know what's going on internally.
Or they
That
ignore it because they're so busy. You know, they're so
yeah,
busy going in the whole day-to-day grind and that they don't stop. I can't tell you how many people I've seen that say, "Oh, well, it's old age," or I'm just getting older, or that's just part of old age, or it's just because I did this, I did that." And it's like, no, you probably either experienced something, ate something, you did something your body does not like.
yeah, yeah. So I'll give you a perfect example. I think also, so I should reiterate. I think also it's because they're so reliant on their medical doctor
Hmm.
that they just forget about. They think that, oh, the doctor's told me I'm healthy. Well, then I'm fine. There's no problem. But this is a perfect example. So I'll feel their pulse, and I'll feel the stomach region of the pulse,
Hmm.
and it'll be bang, bang, bang. The because I'm feeling the artery. See, it'll be bang. That means infection. So if it's
Okay.
pounding, that's infection, right? So that means in the stomach there's going to be excess hydrochloride. So what does that mean? Heartburn. So they're going to have too much heartburn. So I'll say, oh, do you get reflux? Do you get heartburn? No, 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 no. I don't get any heartburn. No, no, no. Okay, do you take any Nexium or Somac? Oh, yeah, yeah, I take Nexium and Somac. Because they don't realize that the drug is just covering up the symptom
Right.
and that they do get heartburn, but they're covering it up with the drug.
Yeah.
See what I mean? People
Yeah,
just aren't.
it's still there, and that's I kind of went through something similar when I had a bulged disc in my back, and I had all kinds of problems with nerve damage and losing the feeling down my leg, and they throw all these painkillers and muscle relaxers at you, and yeah, you might feel better for a little bit, but then it comes like right back, and it's like until those ran out of my system, and I started seeing a chiropractor or acupuncture, doing massages, I'm like the pain never went away with it. It just made you feel like you could function and do better, but it never took care of it.
No, no, and that's like I said, conventional medicine was designed for surgery. It was designed for the battlefield.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
anything outside of that, it doesn't solve the cause. Uh, I'm sorry to say, when the president of the Lantern, which is an article, it's a research article, and when he came out, I think it was 2017 or 18, maybe 2018. He came out and said 90% of all the research is biased, and
Right.
it's it's not relevant. Relevant was his exact words.
Yeah. So maybe,
He's the president.
yeah, I know little things leak out here and there. So, but in your practice, what are some of the most common misconceptions that people have about acupuncture, and what usually surprises them after their first treatment?
Uh, a lot of people have needle phobia. So, what I do normally for those people, the anxious ones, see, even then, that tells me there's something wrong already. I don't even have to feel their pulse. I don't know straight away. There's something wrong. If they've got a needle phobia, there's a big issue already. It's usually a heart issue, to be
Okay.
honest. That's what I see. They'll have the low blood pressure, cold hands and feet, dizziness straight away. I know. There's or they'll just their blood pressure will be on the lower side because the heart doesn't have the blood to pump the blood to the brain, so the
Hmm.
brain panics when it gets stabbed and goes ah, and then the heart can't pump it because they got this weak heart. See what I'm saying?
Right.
So what I do is I just do the scalp points first, just to calm them down. So I'll tell you why, because there's a second mechanism of action with acupuncture.
Oh, you're frozen.
Am I freezing?
Oh, no. Yeah, okay, I can hear you now. Yeah, you're frozen a little bit, but I can hear you. So go ahead. There you go.
Can you hear me, Laura?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I froze. Yeah, I thought it was frozen. Um, so I'll
Yeah, you
do
were
the
saying
scalp
as to why
points
you start with
first.
the head. Go ahead.
The reason being, yeah, so there's a second mechanism of action with acupuncture. So I'll just explain that. So the brain knows it's been something, but it doesn't know by what. Doesn't know if it's a 12-inch knife or a little pin. It has no idea. So it thinks the worst. It thinks it's a 12-inch knife.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is the heart rate speeds up. The heart rate will speed up, start pumping a bit faster. But the blood vessels will open up too, everywhere. So they call it a sympathetic state. So it's a fight or flight, mini
Right.
fight or flight. I've been stabbed by something. Let's get out of here. So um, after 5-10 minutes, then the brain figures it out and says, "Hey guys, it wasn't a 12-inch knife like I thought it was. It was just a little pin." And then what does it do? The heart rate slows down, but the blood vessels stay open for 12 to 24 hours.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
So
that is
that's
pretty.
why they feel you.
Yeah, I've had people
So
ask me how
that's
can I donate plasma because plasma is a good size plasma is a good size needle that they put in you when you're donating plasma. And I've always been the type that as long as I look at it and see it going in, I'm fine. But if I do like other people are doing, trying to look away and not look at it, my mind will go to work as to, oh my God, what is going on? So I don't have a problem with it. I just watch the needle go in and I'm fine. But not everybody's like that.
so yeah, that's why you feel euphoric after acupuncture. That's why after during the
Hmm.
treatment, you'll actually start to feel relaxed.
Okay.
Why? Because the blood is coursing through your body at its pinnacle. That's how acupuncture works. It basically sends blood at a higher rate through your body. It's more efficient
Yeah. Well, which makes
because
sense because
the blood
if I'm not mistaken, the
because the blood
acupuncture points are along the meridians in the body as well, right?
I don't call them meridians. Meridians is a French word, and it was created by a guy called Celine de Moron
Okay.
in the 1920s. He wrote several books. He translated in Chinese
Hmm.
from Mandarin, um, and he wrote three, if I remember correctly, three books on Chinese medicine. And he was the first one to say meridian. But he was a French diplomat. He lived in China for 20
Okay.
years.
Okay.
So because of him, we've gone with this meridian. Um, it's a French word. It's not even English. So anyway, so what was I going to say? So I call them neurological pathways. So the acupuncture points are just bundles of nerves together. Now, how the Chinese figured that out, I got no idea. But
Right.
they did. So they are neurological pathways. Absolutely, yes, I agree with that. Yes, because and the Chinese figured out which neurological pathway relates to which organ. And once again, I don't know how they figured that out either.
Right. You just know the pathways and which ones affect which.
But my theory is, I can't prove it, but so you got to remember that the physician for the emperor, these are the smartest guys in history, right? These are not the village idiots. These are the smartest people in Chinese history.
Hmm.
So, but and there was a lot of pressure. If he didn't get a result and he didn't get it quick, he lost his head, right?
Right.
So, but they were meticulous at recording everything. That's what the Chinese were very good at. Very good at recording everything. So when the next physician came along, because he's like, oh, I don't want to lose my head, he would read the notes of the previous physician, and then he'd say, okay, I won't do that. Obviously, next time
Right.
I'll do this. So they yeah. I think it's from trial and error. Basically, that's how they figured it out.
Figured it out. Yeah, a long time ago. So As you and I both know, stress, anxiety, and burnout, that's become almost normalized in today's society, which I wish it wouldn't. But from a Chinese medicine perspective, what is stress really doing to our bodies, and what warning signs are people missing, in your opinion?
Okay, ADD, ADHD, all these wonderful, burnout. Uh, from what I seen, uh, it's actually the underlying problem is post traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. What's actually happening is something, usually in the first 10 years of our life, scares the hell out of us. It can be anything. It can be swimming in the ocean. Because what happens is mum and dad, especially when you're young, you're
Hmm.
7, 8, 9 years, 10 years of age. Mum and dad says, yeah, 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 go out in the ocean and you can play, yeah, yeah. Get stuck in a rip, and then I can't get back in, so someone's got to go and save you. See what I mean? So you
Yeah,
almost drown. So what happens is, I'm just giving an example. Lots of things can do this. Okay, lots and
sure.
lots of things. Now, abuse can do it. Not so much direct physical abuse, just being around someone where you're walking on eggshells all the time can do this too. It can flip you into this fight or flight, because that's what it is. So what happens is the adrenal gland, they sit above the kidneys. There's two of them, one on each kidney, and they spit out our stress hormones, epinephrine, cortisol, and adrenaline. So what do? They speed everything up, including our heart. Yeah, that's what
Right.
they do. They tigers in front of you. You either fight
Right.
or you get the hell out of there. Flight. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what happens is for these people, it's like a switch. It just switches them on, and what happens is they just can't stop. They go, 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 go. Uh, there's three names for this. So adrenal fatigue. Their adrenals are just constantly spitting out these stress hormones. Like it's there for a reason. We all produce it,
Right.
but for these people, it's just that they're just producing a little bit too much all the time. That's why you'll see, a lot of these CEOs and elite athletes, they've all got it. Anyone who's a card, what do they call it, Formula One and
Oh, uh huh. Yeah, race car
NASCAR,
drivers.
yeah, they've all got it.
Yeah.
They've all got it. The cyclists, runners, boxers, they've all got it.
Call them
Why?
adrenaline junkies. But
Well,
yeah.
exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. It's literally. Why? Because something scared the hell out of them when they're a kid, and now they just can't sit still. They're always on the go, and that's why it gets it's a misdiagnosis. They say that they've got ADD, ADHD. No, they've actually got PTSD, and they just cannot stop. Why? Because they've got this physical problem of where the adrenal gland just will not shut down, and it will not stop. And conventional medicine, I'm sorry to say, has two problems. One, they don't know how to diagnose it, post traumatic stress disorder.
Hmm.
And number two is they don't know how to resolve it. So, um, with the pulse diagnosis I was talking about, where I feel the radial artery in the wrist,
Right.
what actually happens is the natural, uh, 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 I can't, back to front. Anyway, the natural positioning of the artery in the wrist should sink into the arm, into the flesh, when going towards the elbow. So coming from the wrist to the elbow,
Hmm.
it should sink. True? That's what it's
Right.
supposed to do. The artery is supposed to follow the bone. So all your major arteries follow a bone. Like the abdominal aorta, it follows the spine. Same with the vena cava, it follows the spine. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The radial artery follows the radial bone. So it makes sense that it will. it will be superficial, get close to the surface of the skin. Here at the stylo, they call it the stylo process. It's a bony bit,
Right.
but as it goes down the arm towards the elbow, it should sink into the flesh. Yeah,
Right.
so it should be close to the bone. Well, with these people, what happens is because they have so much cortisol, epinephrine, and adrenaline flowing around their bloodstream, it pushes the artery to the surface of the skin. That's how we know they've got it.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. That makes sense too. Yeah.
Yeah. So then yeah, they just can't stop. And the look, acupuncture. So they call that a sympathetic state. They're constantly in the sympathetic state. Now, I just explained to you the second mechanism of action. What actually happens is after that 5 minutes, it puts you into a parasympathetic state. So for the first time in I don't know how long, they're actually feeling relaxed, and they're gonna feel euphoric, and it's gonna feel odd for them
Right.
because they're constantly in the sympathetic state. And these are the people, they're just so driven. They're so driven. They're um, they'll organize. If you've got a group of friends, they'll be the one. They'll be the one that organizes everything. Oh, we should be going on this trip. We should be doing this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, or the ones that don't know how to take a vacation and they plan everything out to it's like no,
Yeah,
vacations
yeah,
are for relaxing, not planning everything out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they got to have a holiday from the holiday
Yeah.
because they've had the holiday and they've done run around here and done this and went skiing and did parasailing and all sorts of business. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they got to have time off on the holiday.
Yeah, you need a vacation from your vacation. And that's definitely, one sign that people could look for that, they're probably ignoring. But why do you think so many people ignore those signals until they become chronic?
Because I told you, conventional medicine, number one, doesn't know how to diagnose it. Number two, they have no idea how to resolve it.
Yeah.
And and you got all these kids on Ritalin, and it's just misdiagnosed. It's not their fault. It's just what they're taught.
Right. Yeah.
They go to the GP or the medical doctor, and they give them Valium normally, or they give them uh, adrenaline because that's what Adderall is, and that's what Ritalin is.
Right.
It's actually adrenaline.
It's actually adrenaline. Yeah. Well, you've
Oh
worked
yeah,
with.
so
Go ahead.
you're
No,
right.
go.
You go. Ask
No,
me the question.
yeah. If you have another
Oh,
one, go ahead and share.
so this is something that your doctor's never going to tell you. Number one, drugs only do one or both of these two things. Drugs either mimic something you produce, or number two is that it either inhibits something you produce. Now, did you know that your body produces morphine?
No, I did not know that.
A lot of people don't know. Your MD is not going to tell you. Why? Number one, they don't know how to get your body to produce it. So that's where acupuncture is fantastic for pain because I know how to get your body to produce morphine. Number two is they're getting paid by someone else to give you something you already produce.
True.
So hypertension medications, perfect example. Beta blockers, beta cell blockers. They block the beta cell. So it's an inhibitor.
Right.
Yeah. Calcium channel blockers, inhibitors. Um, angiotensin 2 inhibitors. It's got the name in it.
It
They
does.
inhibit insulin. It just mimics what we already produce. Was it metformin for type 2 diabetes? That's an inhibitor. That's an inhibitor.
That is horrible. It kills your kidneys. But yeah.
Well, but yeah, but like I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that um, even the premise, even the theory behind what I just told you doesn't make sense.
No, it
It
doesn't.
means that, because what happens, so I'll explain it this way. Your body produces estrogen. So you take the pill, yeah, estrogen, progesterone. Your body produces that for a reason. Now, when you start replacing that, when you start taking a tablet that mimics what you already produce, your body's just going to say, we don't need it anymore.
Right.
So what'll happen is they'll just stop producing the progesterone. And that's why you get these serious side effects.
That makes sense.
Insulin is the same deal. It's no different. That's why you'll get type 2 diabetics become type 1. Why? Because they're constantly taking these insulin tablets or insulin injections. The body just says, I don't need to produce it anymore. So then they become type 1 because that's the difference between type 2 and type 1. Type 2, they're still producing some insulin. Their pancreas is still producing some insulin.
So through
Type 1,
acupuncture, can
oh,
they get the body to kick back in then, and with acupuncture, and say, "Hey, I do need to produce this."
yeah, herbs is better. Herbs is
Okay.
better. For internal organisms, yeah. But yeah, acupuncture does too. Because of that premise. We're
Right.
just increasing blood flow around the body. But I mean, type 2 diabetics, that's pure. I'm sorry to say, guys, your doctor's probably going to say, oh, it's from environmental issues and blah, blah, blah. It's actually because of you're just eating too much sugar. There was never an epidemic of type 2 diabetes prior to the Second World War.
Right. Yep. I've watched the food that built America and what they companies have done with all the sugars and getting people addicted to sugar. So yeah,
But
it's an
was it
incredible history if you go dig into that and what they've
yeah,
done.
there's a documentary called uh, White, White, Sweet, and Deadly. That's it. White, Sweet, and Deadly.
Yeah. So, Dr. Scott, tell me, because I know you're in Australia, and I know acupuncture obviously is hands-on and stay there. But with the herbs, the work that you do with the Chinese herbs, is that something that you can help with people from wherever they're at, or
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah?
absolutely. I've got international clients. I've got clients all over the world: UK, US, uh, Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, I've treated someone in Japan. Yeah, I've treated people all over the world. Absolutely, yeah. So because I can just mail it to them, and
Because you what?
I can just mail the herbs to them.
Right, right.
Post. I can post them.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. Nope. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I know acupuncture. So, for since you're not in the U.S. or other countries, so the herbs go really well with acupuncture. What would you recommend people look for to find the right acupuncturist? Because they're not all the same.
Yes, it's just like MDs. Not all MDs are created equal. It's the
Right.
same with acupuncturists and Chinese herbalists. Uh, well, if you can find someone who can read a pulse properly, there's about 5 people in the world, in the Western world, I should say, that are actually teaching pulse diagnosis, which is not many, I
Right.
might add. Obviously, they've got a lot of disciples.
Mm-hmm.
um, there's a gentleman he's my mentor, Robert Doan. He's in Seattle, but he's got a lot of disciples in the States. Um, if you get in touch with him, he'll have if you're in the States, that is, he'll have a disciple that lives near you because he's got hundreds of disciples, um, with students.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because he has internships, so you can go over there, you pay him money, and you can intern with him. He also has he hires people to work in his clinic, and then they learn about the clinic. And
Sure.
he's got the biggest clinic in the United States. He sees ridiculous amounts of people. I think it's 100 people a day or something. It's crazy. But he's got an entourage of employees that he doesn't do it himself.
Right.
He's got
Right.
an entourage of people that do the treatments for him. So yeah. Yeah, and that, yeah, I would probably, sort someone out that knows how to read a pulse. And another thing that I would like to bring up, and Robert Doan actually endorses this. That I don't needle where the affected area is. So in university, in our uni for acupuncture, they taught us, you got a shoulder problem, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
They taught us to put the needles in the shoulder. Okay.
Right.
The problem with that is, there's a problem with that. Number one, you can make it worse. Okay.
Okay.
It's like going to a massage therapist with a back problem, and you walk out thinking, "Oh, my back's worse. What have you done to me?" You know. So sometimes you can make it worse. Not always, but sometimes you can make it worse. Right. Number two is you can't move your shoulder around. Three, you've got the needles in your shoulder. If you've got the needles in your shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
you can't move it around. Now, if I put the needles in your wrists, or in the other wrist, or in your elbow, you can move your shoulder around. True.
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or if I put them in your scalp, if I put them
Mm-hmm.
in your scalp, you move your shoulder around.
And
So what I'm,
it'll actually still help the shoulder too, because it's all part of those lines that you were talking about, how everything is all connected.
correct. Yes, the neurological pathways all connect. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. So, so number one, I can't make it worse
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not putting the needles in your shoulder. And number two is, immediately it works. So I'll ask you, what's it out of 10? I'll get you to do some exercises. What's it out of 10? 7 out of 10. I'll put the needles in and they go, and they're moving their arm around going, where's the pain? They can't feel it.
Right.
That's because you produce morphine and I know how to get your body to produce it.
I love it. Dr. Scott, we've got about 2 minutes left. What do you want to leave everybody with today? What do you want them to take away from all
Uh,
this?
so I do have I've got I've got heaps. I've got a podcast called Get Busy Living with, which Laura, you've been on.
Mm-hmm.
I also do webinars. This week I'm doing it on colic disease. Sorry, colic disease. Uh, I do that weekly. Last week was constipation in children, Chinese medicine constipation in children. Uh, what else do I do? I do pulse diagnosis in Australia, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So at the local markets. So I do that for free. It's a community service that I do. It's a free health assessment, like I just told you, where I just shake your hand. I feel the artery in the wrist. Uh, what else? I've got the health club. So the health club is so cheap. It's so cheap. So it's all online. I teach you about EFT, emotional freedom technique, meditation, nutrition, exercise, how to lose weight, roadblocks in your mind, how to kick it to the curb, uh, disc profiling, so who you are, who's your ideal partner, ideal job, ideal business.
Mm-hmm.
I teach you about Chinese medicine, acupuncture, and Chinese herbal medicine. And I teach you about the leading 8 chronic diseases which are killing hundreds of thousands of Australians and Americans every year, and the numbers are getting worse. So that's all on my bronze membership. That's 11 Australian dollars per month. Per month.
Month. Yeah.
You get access to like over 70 videos, and yes, it'll change
Yeah.
your life.
Yeah.
I've also got a silver membership. You get access to the webinars through the silver membership and the gold membership. The difference between the silver and gold is the silver, you get access to the 9 modules I just talked about. Plus, you get access to the weekly webinars. I've done over 80 webinars on different conditions. So there's like 150 videos to watch.
Sure.
Uh,
Sure.
there's lots of content. It's $29 Australian per month. Per month.
Yep.
The gold membership is 660 per month Australian. You get access to the 9 modules, the weekly webinars, plus you get access to me for 1 hour each week via Zoom, and we talk about what you want to achieve with your health, and more importantly, how to achieve it. I also have the Healthy Habits Club. Just when you thought there was more, there is more.
Yep, we were going to be almost out of time, but yeah,
All right.
obviously, lots of ways to connect with you, and yeah, you are a wealth of knowledge, and I greatly appreciate your perspective. And I even learned things, like I said, I did not know we could produce morphine, but
Yeah, yeah.
I want to thank you for joining us and sharing all your nuggets with us today. So thank you for taking the time.
Appreciate
I know it's very early by you right now, so thank
appreciate it,
you.
Laura. I'm going to go for a walk. So that's another thing. Move every day, guys. Move every day.
Move every day. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful Monday, and we will see you all next week.